Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Keeping the content rolling here for you guys on your drive, your commute, wherever you're headed, or if you're just here watching on YouTube. Exciting one here for you. We are talking about 5 sneaky sleepers that could actually be the number one RB, the number one wide receiver on their team, but they're not getting that respect, and it shows by their average draft position. But these guys are the alphas on their team. These guys are immense value. These guys are going to absolutely take off and skyrocket this year. Now, 4 of them, I absolutely love. One of them I threw in there because I just think he's great value. I'm not really as crazy on him, but the other 4 absolute gems. They are literally must drafts in my leagues. I did miss out on one of them, the last guy here in a 2K buy-in league. I ended up missing him because I went for the other guy that I'm going to mention here. But absolutely love these guys. Sneaky sleepers because the Chiefs actually think that the guys ahead of them that are currently ahead of them in the ADP, they think that they're actually going to outperform them, and they're coming off the boards ahead of these guys. So sneaky sleepers here for you. Love the value, love the upside. I'm going to get right into it. Now, if you are new to the channel, here's how it goes. Every morning, 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, I release a new show. I do these hangouts, this type of show, on weekends, except today I just wanted to get back out here in the sun, so I gave you another outdoor type show with the outdoor elements. The sun is setting here, probably rising for you by the time you're listening to this. So yeah, Monday through Friday, turn on that bell, subscribe, because I'm going to have a new show for you every single day now. It's full flow fantasy football season, so I'm going to keep delivering the content. We're going to have Jim on here. He's coming back from vacation. He was off last week. Tim the bald guy, he's entertaining and crazy. He just came on last episode. We had a good one. So the content's going, so smash it, tap it, slap it, hit that thumbs up. The number one fantasy football podcast is going to keep the content rolling here for you guys, and grab the 16-round draft solution. It will literally put you light years ahead of the competition. I wouldn't even call it competition with 60 rounds. It's going to be absolute domination on your end, okay? So grab 60 rounds. I've linked it below. Grab a ticket to the Sports Summit. We're going to be doing a live virtual conference, and that's pretty much for the announcements. But again, use code SMASH to save. If you got 16 rounds, use code SMASH to save. It's going to save you a couple bucks on the solution. Grab it below, okay? Everything laid out on a silver platter, principal cheat sheet, and I update that until the season starts, all right? Smash it, tap it, slap it, let's get to it, okay? It takes a second of your time. Really helps the channel. All right, let's talk about these sleepers here. And I also start the show with some news. There really isn't anything news that jumps out other than Justin Jefferson getting paid a mega contract. We're talking mega contract. We're talking $140 million. What is it, over like 4 years or something crazy like that? $35 million a year. It was insane. He's got $110 million guaranteed. He's making like $35 million a year. Whatever it is, $35 million a year. Okay, $140 million contract. That is absolutely insane. Okay, and the thing is, I got to give you my 2 cents on this. The thing is, they don't have a quarterback. Quarterbacks make wide receivers. I want to emphasize this point home. Quarterbacks make wide receivers. If you didn't hear me the first 2 times, quarterbacks make wide receivers, because at the end of the day, man, you've got all this money invested into the wide receiver, but you're lacking at running back. They don't have a running back. They got, what's his name, Aaron Jones, who is basically garbage from the Packers. They didn't want him. They're like, we don't want Aaron Jones. We're like, we don't need him anymore. So it's like, yeah, the whole, this guy's trash is another's treasure. It doesn't work for fantasy football. It doesn't work for the NFL. So the reason you brought in Aaron Jones is because you wanted to pay Jefferson so much. But I mean, that is a huge waste of money, honestly. Like, why would you go ahead and waste so much money on Jefferson? Yes, he's good, but he was injured last year, and you don't have a quarterback to throw to him. Now, J.J. McCarthy could emerge. Sam Darnold absolutely sucks. We know that, but that's going to be a huge problem. So I want to make a point of that. I want to talk about, I think it's a huge waste of money. And, you know, he's good, but is he outstanding with a good quarterback? We're going to have to see how he does with mediocre, subpar, or a rookie quarterback. That's going to be something to see. So other than that, that's really the only thing that's jumping out, you know, with me on the news. So let's get right into these sleepers. The first one I absolutely love. He's a must draft. He's coming to the Fantasy Sports Summit. You get a chance to actually ask him questions. If your question is unique enough, we're going to filter through them at the summit, and you can have a chance to ask him a question. I love him. I think he's a great character. Is Trey Benson, okay? He's on all my rosters. And like I said before the show started, I said the Chiefs have Connor ahead of him. They have other guys ahead of these guys, which is ludicrous because Trey Benson is the clear-cut workhorse running back on this team. Connor is old. He's got like, what, 1,000-yard rushing season? He sucks. He's not good at all. Trey Benson's the alpha. He was drafted in the 3rd round. He should have been drafted probably, he's like 1st-round draft value, but because running backs were so devalued, he fell to the 3rd round, which is amazing. Coming off rounds 10 to 11. Now, that's typical, but in a 12-person 1-point PPR league, but he's actually going to come off a lot earlier as we get close to the draft. Connor, overall at 72 is his ADP, and we're talking PPR, round 6 to 7, okay? That's where Connor's coming off. So that is crazy that Connor is actually ahead of Trey Benson, who's the alpha on that team. I'm all over Trey Benson, okay? Now, maybe when the season starts, maybe Connor comes out on the first drive, but here's the deal. You are getting a workhorse running back, amazing talent guy on a relatively solid offense. They've got Kyler coming back. They got Marvin Harrison Jr., and you're spending a 8th minimum. Like 8th is like the earliest you get, but rounds 10 to 11, because his average overall ADP is 139. That's definitely going to rise up as we get close to the season. But let's say round 9 for argument's sake, okay? When you're spending a first-round pick on Jahmyr Gibbs when he's in a committee, dude, Trey Benson's the alpha there, whereas Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery's going to be a pest. Montgomery took away 200 attempts. So if you're not afraid of grabbing Jahmyr Gibbs round 1, why would you even hesitate to grab Trey Benson rounds 10 to 11. Now, I know Jahmyr Gibbs is amazing, but Trey Benson is also great talent, and he's going to be the one there, okay? So, love the value. Trey Benson, absolute sleeper based on where he's going. I mean, if you have Connor ahead of him on the consensus consensus rankings, he's considered a sleeper any way you cut it, okay? Must-draft guy. Next guy, you heard me talk about him on every video. There's a chance he could bust, but I highly doubt that, is Keon Coleman. Now, just to put this in perspective, everybody's thinking that Kincaid is the wide receiver 1, even though he's a tight end. Average overall ADP is 65 on Kincaid, 134 overall on Coleman. Round 10 to 11, again, his ADP is going to shoot up. And again, here's how I look at it, right? It's about perspective. Diggs, 160 freed up targets. You got Davis, 80 whatever targets, 60, 80 targets gone. And this guy, Coleman's coming off rounds 9 to 11. Absolutely ludicrous, amazing deal, and totally sneaky. And here's the sneaky part about it, because I did call this show Sneaky Sleepers, is that everybody doesn't think he's the wide receiver 1. For some weird, crazy, absolutely insane reason, people think that Curtis Samuel's the one. Are you kidding me? Just go look up Curtis Samuel's stats. He is not even relevant for fantasy. Like, I would never waste my money or time on, even drafting a Curtis Samuel, okay? Trash player. Khalil Shakir could be good, but he's not high caliber, okay? But Keon Coleman, ultra elite, drafted first pick, second round, amazing talent, was a monster in college. His stats weren't like insanely inflated or anything, but he's a really good player, and he's going to a guy who was, again, 5th in passing attempts last year with Josh Allen. I comboed these guys in my 2K buy-in league. This is going to be the stack of the century. Love him. So much volume to be had. And again, the way I look at it, again, going back to that perspective conversation, the way I look at it is Diggs was coming off, round 1 last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. That was Allen's number 1 wide receiver. How do you justify making Keon Coleman 134 overall ADP when Diggs was coming off in 12? Well, you say, well, Joe, it's not Diggs. It doesn't matter. This guy's young. He's dynamic. He's a great athlete, phenomenal athlete. And yeah, he ran a pretty slow 40-yard dash, but he looked good in his routes. He's an amazing player. And he's got Josh Allen. Josh Allen throws a lot. And there's so much, again, all these reasons, right? And again, it's intuition, and it's everything coming together, from stats to talent to opportunity to great quarterback to everything. Again, this is my conviction. Don't let me sell you on my conviction. I'm just telling you what I feel based on what I'm seeing, feeling, and statistically, right? So Keon Coleman, absolutely amazing, great sleeper, love him. Make sure he's on all your rosters, okay? Next guy I don't love as much. I'm not going to spend too much time on him, but Jerry Jeudy, okay? 140 overall is ADP. This guy's kind of near the end of not even end, but he's like around 11, 12, but he's kind of at the point where you're like starting to look for like, who's my next wide receiver? I've got my ace guys. Who do I look for? Jerry Jeudy's just great value. Years to wow us, we're not wowed. I'm kind of out on Jeudy overall. He's not as exciting, but for the value, you are getting a potential wide receiver 1 on a team that is due for a bounce back type season. Jerry Jeudy, again, years to wow us, we're not wowed. Cleveland, Deshaun Watson coming back. He could make him the one. Am I over the moon excited? No, but there's some upside, but the value is absolutely immense. Could be a sneaky wide receiver 1 on his team, man. Really, really could. I'm not an Amari Cooper guy. I'm not sold on Amari Cooper. He's older. Jeudy could be the one there. Again, it's one of those 50-50 things, and slight edge to Cooper. In this case, higher ADP, but Jeudy, just a value guy. It's a sneaky sleeper, could be the one, okay? Not overly exciting. The next one is very, very interesting here. I want you guys to hear me out here. Is this guy I got as my like wide receiver 3 or 4 because I went RB heavy, got my quarterback, got amazing tight ends in my league here, the 2K buy-in league. But the guy I'm talking about, he's a wide receiver one on his team, is Romeo Doubs. Okay, now you're like, hold on a second. This guy's ADP is 127 overall, round 10. Jaden Reed, for example, is coming off, his average ADP is 75, round 6. So there's a big difference between them. See, everybody's assuming, this is the problem, right? Everybody's assuming that Jaden Reed is the one, and very well he could be. So with Christian Watson, he worked on his hamstring. He's been working on it. He's going to get better. Blah blah blah. He's not supposed to get hurt as much this year. That's what he's claiming. But listen, why are we assuming that Jaden Reed is number one? Why are we assuming that Christian Watson is one? And why is Romeo Doubs taking the back seat? I'll tell you something. I'll tell you why he's the one. Go back and look at his postseason numbers where they actually played that two playoff games, I think it was. His stats were astronomically higher than the other ones. I think it was like 12 receptions, a touchdown. It was like just under 400 yards. I should have put the stats in front of me. I'm going to share it in my story mode on Insta today. But here's the thing. If you go back and look at the postseason of last year, when it mattered the most, Jordan Love went to Romeo Doubs. And that's when it matters the most. It matters when they're in crunch time, when they got to win a game. Who's he going to? The stats were like day and night. It was like Romeo Doubs and nobody else. Like this guy was the man. So that if that's an indication, if I'm guessing at who the wide receiver one is, I'm going to look at some sort of indication, some sort of stat, some sort of fact that shows and indicates and showing me that, hey man, Doubs is the one. And dude, I'm all over this, man. Again, you get them pretty much for free. But here's another crazy thing I want to make you guys aware of is that people are doing this guessing game in rounds 1 to 4. And that's why we're going to smash our leagues. That's why you got to get the 16-round draft solution, because I overcome all this. Because people are drafting, literally in this 2K buy-in league, like Ayuk and Debo came off back-to-back in round 3. So like, you're guessing. Like both those guys aren't going to finish at that ADP. They're just not going to. One of them or both of them are going to bust. There's talk of Ayuk possibly being traded to the Steelers. There's rumors of that. At the time of this recording, maybe it's already happened. I don't know. Okay, but bonus sleeper for you is Pearsall. There you go, Ricky Pearsall. He was a first-round pick by the 49ers. I know there's still going to be a lot of targets there, but if Ayuk leaves, man, you might as well stash Pearsall, okay? Pearsall, okay? He's a great talent, okay? And he's buried on that depth chart. They got McCaffrey, they got George Kittle, they got Ayuk. But if Ayuk gets shipped off and Christian McCaffrey gets hurt like I think he will, Pearsall will be amazing. Okay, that's a totally sneaky sleeper there for you. That's a bonus one. But going back to Romeo Doubs, I mean, I'm not, by the way, there's a lot of people doing outdoor activities, so that's why there's some background noise here. But again, if you're going to take a risk here later on, you're not doing it for that. Like you're going like round 10 and after for Romeo Doubs, who's going to be potentially the one on his team, instead of going for like a Nico Collins round 2 or 3, which is ludicrous. Like, because they don't know who the one is there, but they're guessing. They're going Nico Nico came off round 3, and then Diggs came off round 4, and Dell round 5. It's like, what? Okay, like, I mean, CJ Stroud is good, but he's not that much better than Jordan Love based on last year. Okay, yeah, he's better than Jordan Love based on last year, but he's not that much better. So does that devaluate his wide receivers significantly to the point where they're like not even worth talking about? So again, you guys got to think, guys. Think outside the box. Get the value when you need it. And again, Romeo Doubs, absolutely amazing value, and he's going to be the one on the team. It's a huge ADP. There's a 4-round ADP difference between just Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs. So it's like, okay, I'm going to take Doubs because you guys are just guessing, and the playoff game showed me otherwise, okay? There you go. The last one I absolutely love, okay? And I missed on him. I really did. I missed on this guy because, again, I told you at the beginning of this video that I went for another guy over the other guy, and I did end up going Benson. I kind of knew that Tajay would come off, on the turn, because I picked 8th and I knew it was swinging back around. There would be like 14 picks in between. I'm just like, Tajay Spears, I had to address certain needs, and Tajay, I missed out on. I'm very upset about this. And round 7 ADP, Tajay Spears, okay? Pollard is round 6 ADP. So again, another situation where the beta is going ahead of the alpha. Connor ahead of Trey Benson? No way. I would never draft Connor. And similarly, I wouldn't draft Pollard ahead of Spears, yet Pollard's coming off ahead of him. So let's talk about Spears real quickly. He's the guy that's going to take over Derrick Henry's job. Big shoes to fill, but he trained behind Derrick Henry and was drafted, this is very important, was drafted in the 3rd round by the team that he's still on. So he knows the offense, he knows the team, he's built that rapport with that team, and he worked behind one of the, if not the greatest running backs of all time in Derrick Henry. So he trained behind him, and he still managed to get like 100 attempts last year, still got some work in behind a guy that hoarded away 280 attempts, okay? 280. Now Pollard comes in, he's paid relatively handsomely, but he's come in now and he's a failed backup, he's a failed starter, he's not good. He was drafted in the 4th or 5th round back in 2019. I think it was a 4th round pick or 5th round back in 2019 by a team he's no longer on. He comes in and he's added for depth. This is exactly what I want. I knew Tajay was going to be the one. That's why I asked him to come to the Sports Summit, because I believe in him. I believe in Tajay and I believe in Benson. And you're getting a Derrick Henry replacement in round 7. Dude, I'm all over that. And what's sneaky about it, going back to the title, is like people think Pollard is the one. Guys, it's crazy. And even if these guys go for a 50-50 split, we're looking at 200-plus attempts for Tajay Spears. But I also believe that talent prevails. You always want to draft the most talented guy. Tajay's the most talented guy. Trey Benson's the most talented guy. Keon Coleman's the most talented guy. Romeo Doubs potentially could be the most talented guy. I think Jaden Reed's good. I think we're kind of close on those guys. And again, Christian Watson can't stay healthy. But yeah, you always want to focus on talent. That's a huge thing when you're trying to make a decision, okay? So Trey Benson, Keon Coleman, Jerry Jeudy, Romeo Doubs, Tajay Spears, literally number 1s on their team, but they're being devalued to say that they're not the number 1s on their team. They're almost like pretending like they're not based on where they're being drafted. It's wild, it's crazy, and I love this, man. This is why I smash leagues. Now, there's a chance that Benson doesn't become the one. There's a chance that Pollard becomes the one, but I highly doubt it. I'm going on what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing, and everything from talent, opportunity, and I've kind of given you my facts on this, okay? So if you're new to the channel, guys, smash it, tap it, slap it. Hopefully this is making sense to you. Guys, this is not copy and paste rankings here. This is actually going to help you guys win your leagues and be light years ahead of the competition. So grab 16 rounds. Let me know what you guys think. Who's a sneaky sleeper for you guys? Love to get your feedback. And guys, try to get these guys on your roster because the value is absolutely amazing and you're getting the alpha on the team, all right? Sneaky sleepers for you guys. Massive upside. Subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. We'll talk soon, guys. I appreciate you guys. Hope you have an outstanding Tuesday. I'm out.